And okay, with that, I'll just take it from here. We are joined by. Okay, why is it? Okay, Billy. Now that
Billy is hard to pin down. Billy is hard to pin down.
okay, so anyway, that sort of is a great intro right there. But with that, we are joined by vintage high school baseball coaches Richie Anderson and Billy Smith. Gentlemen, how are you guys doing?
We're doing great, right, Billy?
We're doing awesome. It's Sunday night.
We're going to drop one on you, though, Kyle, if you don't mind us starting instead of you asking the first question.
Fine.
So we reshuffled the coaching staff, and Billy is going to be the head coach moving forward, and I'm just going to be a staff member. So you got the scoop there. Andy Wilcox is writing an article. He's going to put something in the paper, but I don't think it's going to be in there till Tuesday. I don't know if Andy's mentioned anything to you or you've ever talked to the Register or what have you. But we definitely did a reshuffling. Billy's going to take over the reins. And so at some point, I'm going to sign out of this because the kids have already had so much thunder stolen from them because of COVID and not being able to play games. And I think this Zoom right here is really supposed to be about a preview of the kids and not about me. And so I guess if you and I want to talk at another date, we can, and I can, meet you on another Zoom and we can talk about it. But I really think we need to kind of focus on guys like Davide Magoto or Dylan Rhodey or what have you, or the new head coach over here, Billy Smith.
Yeah. So just a quick question off of that. When did you make this decision? That's the only thing I want to know.
I made the decision probably in June. And we can get into the details about what was going on. And then, but there was no, in June, we didn't even know if we were going to have any sports coming up. So the athletic director and the principal kind of told me, well, we can hold off on making any announcements. But as we got into the holidays, I told the coaching staff, and it was really hard to try to tell the players because you don't see them, you're on Zooms and stuff. So anyway, that could be an interesting story in itself, like how that whole thing went down. But I'm not going anywhere. I'm still on staff. I still teach at Vintage High School. Clearly, the team is in very capable hands of Coach Smith, who was a head baseball coach before he came to coach with me in 1996. But enough of that. We can get on to the preview.
Perfect. So with that, after that bomb, wow. Let's see. So I guess the most logical place to start is navigating COVID-19. What's that been like for the program?
Rich, me. It's been rather different, very different, knowing, you had to stay under 16 kids. We actually had 2 cohorts of 16 players, and it was tough to keep under 16 and to make sure everybody was doing the right thing as far as wearing masks and socially distance. I kind of took away from actually baseball practice, but it was more like I was making sure all those things were going right. So we still got our work in, but it was quite different.
Rich, anything?
I was kind of outside of the whole thing. I've been really disconnected since the season was ended abruptly last year, and we didn't have a summer, we didn't have a fall. And then when all these COVID protocols came in, Billy just was stepping in and running the whole program at that point. And you can only have one coach per 15 players or whatever it was. I guess you could have multiple coaches, but I mean, you'd have less players. So it made more sense to have all the players that could be there at one point, and then Billy took over from there.
All right. So next up, I guess it's a good place to talk about the team. Billy, you obviously have a very senior heavy team, and looking at the Max Preps roster, talk a little about that and how nice and how much of a luxury that's going to be this season.
I'm gonna step out right now. I don't want Billy to kind of defer to me on this. He's kind of got the heartbeat of the team and what's going on. So I'm gonna sign off at this point. But you and I can get back together at some point.
Sounds very good. Sounds good, Rich. Thank you.
All right. Take care, fellas. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rich.
Yeah.
All right. See ya.
All right, Billy. So back to where we were at here. Senior heavy group. What's your impressions, and obviously how nice is it to have a bunch of seniors?
It is it's very exciting to have a bunch of seniors, but it's also I could step right in, put a lineup out, and be really comfortable. And with the Davide Magoto, Dylan Rhodey, and Bowden Cook, those guys have been running the show due to the fact that now with COVID, I am teaching all the way up to 3:00 every day. So they have been out there. They set up the field, and it allows me to, when I get out there, that we can start right away. And having those kids right there, and Jorge Lopez, those 4 kids have really kind of taken it upon themselves, and they're making sure we're on the right path, and they're excited that they're playing baseball. And every day that we're out there, they're excited, and that's the fun part.
So I guess your only underclassman, or not even a junior on the team, would be Bowden Cook, right?
We got Bowden as a junior. Right now we have Sam Gomez, a sophomore, and currently with us we have Carter Haven, who's a sophomore. He's working his way. He's up there with us right now due to the fact that we've had football. So I've missed, I'm missing 7 football players. So in order to fill a practice out, we have brought younger kids up to, and even far, we had freshmen participating with us during our COVID. So we haven't really got our team together. Saturday was our first practice with actual, maybe with the football players, but that kind of practice was kind of, they were sore, so we couldn't get much. It was just allowing them to get out there and get their feet wet and, ache their way through practice.
I'd imagine it's got to be nice though. I've watched Bowden play in person with Legion. He is a fantastic defensive catcher, and I know when he gets hit and he can be hot. It's got to be nice to have that backstop for you.
Oh, it's when you're strong up the middle, you're going to be a good team, and it starts with him. He controls the offense, he controls the defense. And he makes calls. He controls the defense on bunt coverages, pick plays, all that stuff. And when you got a guy working that loves baseball and works that hard, it's contagious. And you put that together with Dylan Rhodey and George. They're up the middle, and Davide very easily could be in the middle, but he's on a corner. But those guys are strong senior kids that love the game of baseball. And when you got those kids, like I said, I'm going to keep patting them. They're special kids, and they make everything a lot easier. They help me with the transition of taking over the team after 24 years of being an assistant to Rich. They welcome me in, and we haven't skipped a heartbeat right now.
Wow. And then obviously I know on your corners you can really do it either way. I've seen it done both ways in Legion, but you can put Davide at third, Shudish at first, and vice versa. Yeah. So that's got to be nice also. And Davide could play a little short here, catch here, do whatever you need. Davide's got to be a favorite. I love the kid. He's one of my favorites to watch.
That's easy. That's what this team starts with is Davide Magoto. And he goes from third to short to second to first, wherever it is. And you know what? You don't hear anything from him except that he's excited to do whatever's best for the team. And he sacrifices his personal goals as far as where he wants to play to satisfy the team's best interest. And you can't miss with a kid like that. And so it's exciting to hopefully he can have a good season, and he will. He works hard. And again, he does whatever's best for the team. So that's what makes coaching easy when you got a Davide on your team.
So you also had some football guys, as you mentioned, they played a big game on Friday. Now they're just now getting to baseball. How's that transition been from them? You got your son, Connor, you got Shudish, Avalos, right?
Yep.
And then I think that's it for now. Reed McCaffrey. How's that been getting all those guys back? I know it started like Saturday, like you said, but how's that been?
Well, they were in the other cohort, so they were actually two-timing, getting a little time every now and then, like on Wednesdays, early Wednesdays, they get out and hit a little bit, but they've mainly been football. It was good to see them out there. They were very sore, so it was one of those practices where you're like, should we just not have it and come start Monday, let them have the weekend to lick their wounds. It was a good game the other night, and they felt Napa High. It was a tough game, and like I said, that's a different game than the whole season, and all those kids feel it. Connor was sore, Avalos was sore, Shudish, and Reed did. He was cramping in his calf, so
Sam Neal too, right?
Sam Neal, that's right, good call. They were all pretty sore.
Perfect. So now I kind of want to transition to the schedule. The other schools in town have played a non-league game already, and before they play a league game, you guys are going right into a league game right away, and you could make the case it's a rivalry. I know Vintage Napa will always be a rivalry, but you guys are just as close to Justin too.
Yeah.
So talk about opening up with league play, and not just any league game, but a local rivalry game.
Well, we almost had a game on, like, it would be tomorrow. It would have been the 19th, and I just, going in with what we had in my cohort, we didn't have enough to have a team, and then to bring our 5 kids from football in their first day of practice. Hey, we're playing against another high school. It would have been hard, and so I didn't do it. But I think with 2 days of practice, Monday and Tuesday, and plus Saturday, I think we'll be ready to go. These kids, they've been hitting on their own. They're not that far behind as far as being able to catch up.
Perfect. And we've seen how in the first year of league play, like, this league was really close. It's a great baseball league. It's a very baseball rich league. And other coaches in town have mentioned that, every bounce is going to be critical. Every fine detail is going to be magnified because it's basically a league only season.
Yeah.
So do you agree with that sentiment?
Baseball is baseball, but again, there's no warming up to the league. You jump right in it and you go, and the chips fall where they fall. With the team that I have, or we have, I'll go out there and go to war with these guys. These guys are competitors, but it's more, every bounce is going to make a difference. Pitching is going to be, hopefully their arms are ready to go. And we play good defense behind them. The offense eventually will come. So it has its pluses that we jump right in the schedule and we get after it, and that's kind of cool. It gives your kids a more sense of urgency to practice more efficiently and take care of every detail. So
perfect. And so speaking of arms, we obviously in the NVSD, you guys had a few athletes choose to play another sport, and some of them are your biggest arms, Nothman and Owen Schneidley.
Yeah.
Talk about the loss of those guys, but also like the fact that they're playing another sport and how that works. How that's been?
It's hard to be upset. You want the kid to be happy, and those 2 guys were like 1 and 2. Or 2 and 3 last year with us as far as arms. But to lose a guy that can go from right center gap to left center gap, like Logan can, and catch a baseball, it's hard to replace. And Owen just gave you gutty innings as far as pitching, and we lost 2 arms. But again, that's that mentality of, okay, it gives another kid a chance. And we got 4 juniors that are coming up to throw, like Justin Ray is going to be a thrower. He's going to pitch for us. Eric Cavidal, who decided to play baseball. Austin Whitehead, another. Those are 3 juniors that are going to get right in there. And then you put a Carter Haven that's a sophomore, potentially can get some innings. He's trying to solidify and make the team still. Who else am I missing?
Connor can pitch, right?
Who?
Your son, Connor.
Yeah, Connor's a strike thrower, so a couple bullpens and he'll be ready to go. But as far as seniors, we got Connor. He's going to give us a couple innings here probably every game. That's the kind of arm he has, and he throws a lot of strikes. Dylan Rohde's our number 1. He's the guy that we can give the ball to and get innings out of him and throw a lot of strikes. We have Reed McCaffrey, Alex DeZod, Jorge Lopez. Those are all I mean, we have a lot of guys that can give us a couple innings here and there. So
That's good. So let's see. Next, I want to talk.
McCaffrey can too.
That's great. Wow, you guys have a lot.
Potentially, we have 9 guys, 10 guys, but we got to do it right. We got to find another arm that we can say, okay, Rhodey's our starter on this game. Now we're looking for number 2. Who can be that guy that can start? All those other guys can give us innings here and there. So that's what we're looking for right now. That's the sense of urgency, is finding that number 2.
Makes sense. So now I want to talk about the coaching staff as a whole. Obviously, you're still there. Rich is still there. I assume Mark Lundeen is there.
Yep.
And then
Brandon Owls.
And then I understand that maybe Coach Raines is coaching some baseball this year.
Yeah,
Talk a little about your coaching staff from the top down.
From the varsity, we have Mark Lundeen, our pitching coach. Brandon Owls is kind of our infield coach, and Rich is helping out, assisting the infield as well, and field maintenance. He's doing a very good job at that. And of course me, and then our JV level, and we're kind of combined our JVs and Frosh together. We have Dennis Raines, who's going to be the head guy of that whole group. We have Aaron Espinoza, who was a former Napa alum. He's friends of Dennis. Spencer Chekalewski will be there as well. We have Jeff Page, who just came on. Him and Ron Lustig are going to control the freshman team. So those other 3 guys, Spencer, Aaron, and Dennis, will all be up on the JVs.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So what does it mean to get a guy like Dennis, who obviously you've coached for football-wise, and I know him from football? Like, what does it mean to get him maybe coaching a different sport that he hasn't coached in quite a long time?
You know, he was that was actually a setup with Rich. Rich actually had that in hand. He was very much wanting to he made that deal with Rich, and it's a plus. What he did with my son in football, bar none, was one of the best things that ever happened to my son. So I'm excited. I when I first came over, my first year when I was over, I saw him playing ball. But I just seen his desire to coach kids and the way he fosters kids, and bar none, second to none to have. I have all the trust in what he does down there, and it's a good thing for a program to not have to worry about the lower levels when you got a guy like Dennis Raines controlling that whole JVs and freshmen. So I'm very fortunate that he's down there. So it's a plus.
That's, I was happy when he told me, since
Yeah.
I've known about this for a while. But anyway, Billy, talk about, again, just having a season despite what the kids have been through the last year plus at this point, and finally getting back on the field. What does it mean to you, to the kids, to finally get back out there?
It's all about the kids. And just as a teacher, you see them in Zoom, you see them walking around schools. It's just a different kid, a different identity. And just allowing kids to get back onto a practice field and practice, it wakes them up, and it just gives everybody new life that good things are happening down the road. And we just want these kids to be happy. And if it's playing sports that helps them, it's going to help everybody.
Perfect. And last question for you here is, talk a little about your non-league games that you're playing. I think I saw Cardinal Newman on there, and then a few others. Talk about them.
Well, our schedule took a little bit longer to get. So they were like, it was going to be 16, then it changed to 12 and a playoff, and then they just canceled the playoff. So they went 12 only, and then like, hey, you got to get 4 non-league. So Rich, as I was in a meeting, I said, hey, we got to get 4. He went and got Sonoma and Casa. They're local. They're our league teams, but we're going to make them non-league just to play a third game. But then we knew we're very close with Maria Carrillo. They're associated with Santa Rosa Junior College ex-players. And Rich has a good bond with Damon, and we've always kind of kept that little Maria Carrillo game. And then Cardinal Newman was the ex-Derek DeBenedetti. I know him through Legion, and I knew him from Maria Carrillo. So it was a quick fix to get. We had to get games, and we got them quickly. And So we're very fortunate to be able to get those guys.
You also just brought up a quick question with you also just brought up Legion. So the fact that the kids haven't played any summer baseball, do you think that's going to have any effects on the game, or they've? I know guys like Davide Reed. I know how capable they are out there, but
Yeah.
that rust is still a thing. Like, so do you think not having summer ball could show in early on in the season?
Yeah, it will show. Everything's going to show. They're going to be nervous. They're going to be, they're not quite. We don't have the 2 extra weeks to get ready for a league game by having 4 or 5 non-league games before it. But baseball is baseball.
Mm-hmm.
They had to do it for football when they found out they had 10 days to get in shape. They were able to do it and not skip a beat. They've been swinging the bat. I think they'll be behind a little bit at swinging offensively. And as I looked over the weekend, I looked over some of the scores, and some of them are real low. So they're behind too. So we're just hoping, having a senior core like we do, I think it allows us, it'll overcome our rustiness, I think, with our seniors. But I'm excited. Being out on a baseball field, sunny day, kids running around. I mean, hitting baseball, fielding baseballs. It's a fun thing. So we'll be fine.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your time, Billy. I really appreciate it. And I will see you at the Justin game on Wednesday.
There you go. All righty. Thank you very much.